So in this video, I'm going to show you how to add questions and search for questions in an assignment. It's not that hard to do. There are a couple different ways that I'm going to try to walk you through. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've hit my new assignment button. I've created an assignment. It's going to have 0 items in it. So this is another sample assignment that doesn't have any questions. So instantly when I get on this page, I actually have 2 options for adding a question. The most obvious is the big green Add a Question button. The other one is actually import questions from a list. So if I click on this page, I can import it by either the ID number or the question name. So if you know the name of a question or you know the ID of a number, you can put it in here. You might have a file. Some people use this. I've never actually personally done this, but these are all nice places to add assignment if you know what you're doing. Most of the time people use this function when they're copying one assignment to another. Maybe last year's exam becomes this year's review. Kind of nice little things to do. But most of you are going to be using the Add Question button here. So let's go through and show you how you can actually search for questions. And this page does take a little bit of time to load. It's pulling a lot of data over, so it hopefully is a little bit of loading time here at the sake of being quicker when you get in here. The most common way, or at least for me, the way I like to search for problems is going into a chapter section. So I'm going to find, if I'm teaching a physics class, I can go in, select which of the physics banks or what of the problem banks I want to look into. Then I go down to normally what subject I'm covering. So let's say in this case I'm covering work and energy. And I want to add a question in from kinetic energy. So if I go in and click on it, then it's going to give me a list of all of the questions that are published in Quest for the All Physics, Work and Energy, Kinetic Energy Bank chapter section. So it's a pretty easy way. There's a little bit of a trick. Sometimes the sections get a little bit too fine-grained for me, so sometimes you want to actually search for more. So if you hold down the Shift or the Control or Command button, you can select more than one, just like normal selecting. And then if you search, you're going to actually search through all of these sections. Unfortunately, you can't search through multiple chapters at a time. This only works on the section feature. So, nice way of looking at it. Again, you have your views, your previews, or clicking on the actual question to see what they actually are before you add it to your assignment. All right, so I like that, using this. Every so often I'll try to, depending on the types of questions I want, I might actually filter by if it's a multiple choice question. Maybe I only want to have no variation or maybe questions that have more than one variation. These are nice things to add and filter in. We're actually always trying to figure out if we should have new filters put in here. It may be something in the future that you'll see, but currently this is what we have. All right, the next way to search for questions, you can search using kind of a string of characters or a set of characters that you want to search on. So maybe I want to search for, in all physics, I want to search for questions that have the title electron. And when I do this, it's going to actually go through and look down all of the questions that have the name electron in it and autocomplete this field. So I can say, oh yeah, I really did like the electron configuration 58. When I search for it then, no, it's not coming out. Maybe if I go to a lower number, let's try electron configuration 50. The bad part about the searching for the title is you have to actually know what is the right chapter or right bank that you're in. My guess is that all of these are in the chemistry bank, so I can go in, search for here. Yeah, sometimes they're a little bit harder questions. Sometimes these questions are not published. What's more useful actually is the question text. So if I want to search for electron in, well, let's look at the matter and interaction. I'm going to see in matter and interaction 1 how many electron questions I come up with. It should be quite a few. Be careful what you search for. You might actually get what you want and everything else. So sometimes these questions, this is a nice way if you're like, I remember a question that had these few words in it. These are nice things to point in. There's a little set of tips that we'll be able to use in this. So if you use the asterisks, you'll be able to, there's different ways to format how you search for things to get different results. Again, you can use the pull-down menus to sort by what you want. So if you wanted to find questions that had certain keywords in them, this is a place to do it. This tag feature or the keyword feature is useful in chemistry. It's not so useful in physics. This was built, when questions get built, this is something that can get added to the question. Unfortunately, because Quest is a grassroots sort of way of adding questions to the banks, a lot of the questions didn't get added in. Some of them do it. It might be useful to search for those, but a lot of times you'll come up with not that many results. So again, you can search by chapter or bank chapter section, or you can fill in the blank and try to search by the title or the question or actually even the ID number here. So some pretty simple ways to do it. If you're actually looking at this video and thinking that the editor, searching in the editor may be a little bit different, you're right, that has a very similar feel to it. If you have one of the advanced editor capabilities, it is a little bit different. There are a few extra ways to search for it that I won't cover, but they should be pretty obvious. So hopefully you learned some stuff. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us, and thanks for watching.